Hello and welcome, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. Mainly gentlemen, let's be honest here. But Nina's in the house, so she rocked the pre-show. If you guys are listening to this on a podcast, make sure you check out the live streams on YouTube and Facebook, where you can see Nina's beautiful face, John's beautiful hair, and my daunting experience. My name is Eric Farewell. This is episode number 17. And I'm really excited, guys. Tonight we have an incredibly special guest, someone you will never believe would grace us with his presence. I mean, this is really the live stream to end all live streams. If you think about it, this is going to be the experience we've all been waiting for. It's people ask for Tucker Gott, they ask for Neil Armstrong, they ask for Buzz Aldrin. This guy is the most requested guest we've ever had for a podcast. Take it away.
It's me! What's up?
What's up? What's up?
I just wanted to get the trophy for most appearances.
So far, I'm winning, but you're right behind.
Most guest appearances. Most appearances by a support cast member.
All right, so John's joining us tonight because we didn't have a super special, crazy guest that come in from out of town. We just had our local super special, crazy, awesome guest.
Yes, local enough.
We have a lot of great questions that have come through over the last couple of weeks. We want to be able to identify and get to. I expect that we will sadly not be able to have a long show tonight.
Talking to this thing?
Talking to it.
Okay.
So it's not going to be a super long show tonight. I apologize, guys, because I'm drinking water. Because I'm taking Nina
What's
flying.
Wrong? Oh, right.
She's been asking, and
right.
Sunday she was like, all right, after the podcast, we're going flying. I was like...
So we got to, if we got to cut the show short so she can have her tandem, let's do it.
Well, here's the thing. So, Nina manages the operation. She manages the staff. She's awesome, and she's never tasted paramotor flight. So we're going to fix that. Maybe John will fly with us. Oh, wait, he has had a beer.
I only had the 2.
No,
I'll be filming from the ground.
Most excellent. Jay Williams, good to see you. Karma, your body was not ready. I agree. Sandor, good to see you. Best guest ever. Aww.
Look at Brian Muser. We love you, John.
We love you, John. It's okay. We love John, too.
This is my cousin.
Is it really? Did you take him to prom? Tell the truth.
Yeah, we're from Mokoe.
Right on.
That's what we do there. Yeah, I literally just sent him a link and said, hey, go leave a nice comment.
You know what, Brian? You're pretty great.
Thanks, Brian.
You're pretty great. 12-pack, good to see you. Ripman riding. Eric Sheridan, I got a great email from someone this week who really appreciates all of your tutelage, as well as the fact that you're an excellent pilot, according to him. So thank you for continuing to carry out the most important tenets of what we do, which is giving back and doing more. So thank you very much. Michael Abbott, Jesus bolt failure on my Nitro V1. Will the harness hold if the swing arm fails? Thoughts? Yes. So the Nitro's harness, the sub-air harness, has safety straps. You should get about 4 inches of weight shift. And we have heard of these breaking. I got an email from someone today, I don't know if that was you or someone else, that had a Jesus bolt failure. I think that's the 4th one.
Why is it called a Jesus bolt?
Well, it's the pivot arm bolt that mounts to your swing arm. And if they aren't properly tightened, or if they're just worn out, or if they use the wrong grade in the factory, depends. Because the grade shifted. They went from a grade 9 to a grade 6 to a grade 12. I don't remember all the different variations of 9.6 or whatever they are. So, yes, that is a thing that can happen. The harness should keep you safe. However, check them and change them frequently. On any motor that relies on a bolt, I would recommend checking and changing frequently. Make it a 50-hour or 100-hour replacement. We do have them in stock, and we'd be happy to introduce you guys. All right. So people just asked about the custom motor. We're gonna do the big reveal. So I asked Parajet for a red Maverick, and I said I wanted it to be cool and different. And I have to give a huge shout out to Tom and Simon and everyone at Parajet, because they freaking blew me away. All right, let me explain. You guys can't see it as well in the light right now, but this is a white Parajet Maverick. Wow. All right, so it's white frame, white hoop, red plastic hoop, blue arms, red retainers. It's ridiculous.
You look like Captain America.
I look like Evil Knievel. I
You
am
fly like Evil Knievel.
so
That's
jazzed about it. It is really, really, really cool. So it's very different, and the white just makes it pop. And it's not something you can currently order, but if enough people want them, we can attempt to get it ordered. It does not have the LED kit yet, Kevin. It does have a smoke system. It will have flotation and reserve on it tomorrow. I haven't flown it yet. I got it yesterday. I'm so freaking pumped. So this thing is ridiculous, and it's kind of exactly what I was looking for. I wanted something that was a little bit ridiculous.
God,
so this
cool.
is the Evil Knievel edition or the Aviator edition. Your call. It has the new tank on it too. So it has the tank that has the pocket for the battery inside, which is really, really freaking sweet. Is it for sale? Jameson asks. James, it's been broken in. I will currently sell it for $1,000 above retail because my last one got sold to a student and I haven't had a motor in 5 weeks and I'm kind of dying inside. Yeah.
Yeah, the guy, he keeps selling us personal motors.
Well, the problem is people don't want to wait and they want custom colors.
Right.
And I always order custom colors so
Right.
my motor doesn't get like confused for a student unit. And oh yeah, it does have the Aviator throttle on it. It has basically every option you can add to a Parajet. This has on it, and it's
That's so cool.
pretty spiffy. It doesn't have the carbon shroud on it yet because we were just finishing the break-in, and we wanted to be able to re-torque the head, and we didn't have to take the carbon shroud off for it. So Tony Marzon says, aren't they all your motors really? Kind of. So the way it works is this: I spend the money, and then other people claim them, and then
it never comes back.
I don't get to fly them because students get to use them or the instructors get to, and I don't mind. Like it's. I mean, seriously, it's what I'm in the business to do here. It's like I have to support the business, make sure we have all the stuff that the business needs, but it means I don't get to fly. So it's okay. I've been flying my airplane. So this morning, story time. Story time.
Ooh.
This morning we had a meeting with an airport that we're looking at planting a school at for our second location. And we had a meeting at 9 o'clock in the morning across the state.
Are we saying where? Is it a secret?
No, we're not going to say where
Secret.
yet.
Okay.
Across the state with the airport manager and with some other people there at the airport. And so I had to be there at 9 a.m. I took off at 8:35 or 8:31, landed 30 minutes later. I was late. I was supposed to be there at 9. I was there at 9:03. We taxied up. It was terrible. But he thought we were supposed to be there at 10, and he's the one who emailed and said 9. So we still had to wait. But then we were back here by like 10:45.
It doesn't add up.
I love airplanes because they're time machines.
Right.
Right.
That should have taken you hours. It should have taken a full day.
Well, literally, by the time we got back, would have been about the time we arrived at the airport if we'd been driving.
That's amazing.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
And by the way, 24 miles to the gallon today. So, not bad.
That's
I mean,
actually, God, that sounds amazing.
not Tesla level, I know. But your Tesla at 180 miles an hour would not exactly get the best mileage
but an airplane,
either.
that's insane. That sounds amazing. Is that really good?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Wow, that sounds great.
It's pretty fantastic. So this is, all that said, as much as I love airplanes and how fabulously fun and efficient they are, I can't wait to fly this because it's way better. I was explaining it to the airport manager where we were this morning. I said, you know, he was an A&P, he's an aircraft mechanic, and he retired and went to work for the city. And I was trying to explain it to him. I was like, you guys, that looks really cool. I always see you at the fly-ins and the air shows, and it looks really cool. He says, that said, you know, it looks crazy. And I said, you don't understand. Like, when I fly the airplane and I have a good landing, which I had 2 bad landings today because I'm terrible. But whenever I land with a smile, I always land impressed that I did something that's like, it's a cool thing to do.
Right.
But when I land from flying a paramotor, I giggle like a schoolgirl.
It's a hard laugh.
Oh my
It's a
gosh,
hard
man!
laugh, yeah.
I seriously
Every
seriously
time.
giggle.
Can I do an impression?
Sure.
It goes every time. We'll film like something where he just flies for 5 minutes and he lands and he's
It's kind of
loves it.
embarrassing, but I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Flying never ever gets old. It's just
crazy.
it's something that I can't share enough of how much it impacts me. It really does. All right, Anime Nick says, fly a motor first out of the box, call it testing, charge extra for the Sharpie Eric Farewell autograph on the hoop. First off, my name is not Tucker Gott, so I can't get away with that. Rodney says, nice write-off, Eric. Actually, this will be for sale, Rodney. Don't worry. We don't need write-offs this year. There's no need.
Yeah.
We went from 4 employees to counting contractors, 16 this year.
Are you counting our newest one?
Yeah.
Okay.
16! 16!
Yeah.
That's how many people are working to serve you all at Aviator now. It's insane, and it's really cool. Actually, I didn't count our newest one, the one that came in. That's 17.
Newest, yeah.
Yeah, but he's only part-time until January. Shh.
A lot of employees.
A lot of employees.
A lot of people working here.
Oh, man. My instructor was the coolest guy ever. Super capable pilot. I don't know how he could stand to watch all day while it was so good. I don't know how you guys do it. My hat is off to you. No, man, it's tough. That is one of the biggest sacrifices that an instructor makes, is giving up the best air. And that's why our team, the way we run our school, is that our team basically, they start their day at about 5 a.m.
Right.
They're in the shop, ready to fly about 40 minutes before sunrise. 30 minutes before sunrise, they're in the air. They fly for the half hour. They land.
They're lucky to get 15 minutes.
All right, so 15 to 30 minutes. They land, and they immediately start teaching students. So they get some good air, but it requires getting up real early.
Real early.
And that's one of the things that we're going to be working on. We're working on our ambassador program. We have a new program we're working on that any future students who are interested in becoming instructors, we're going to have a program for them to see if it'll be kind of one of those things where it's like you're either in or you wash out kind of deal.
Right.
But as the sport's growing and as our school's growing, we need more instructors, and so we're working on that. I was talking to Alex about it today at length. It's one of the things that ATP, his prior job, does. They have every student who gets their commercial ticket has the opportunity to go through a program and become an instructor for ATP, but only 20% make it.
It's like Bud's SEAL training. Is that what
right?
You're saying?
So it's not going to be the world's easiest thing. But it's mainly about personality. We've talked about it before. You want empathetic people who are really solid, just really caring people.
Right.
So we're excited about it. It's going to be really good. Ed McLeod says, "Don't forget about your unpaid maintenance superintendent." Yes. So huge shout out to Ed McLeod. As much as I love to hate the man, he's just too beautiful. Ed's one of our past students from the December class, I believe it was, and Ed spent his weekend this past weekend, most other weekends, doing random crap work that has to be done. This weekend was getting the hot water heater working in one of our instructors' new RVs. He's a beast. So, yeah. Ed, thank you very much.
Thank you, Ed.
Thanks for coming and having a beer with me. It was lovely. Let's see. Someone asked how many, or if we've sold any EFI units. We have. We actually have sold out of EFI units that we currently had in stock. The first one that's in the hands of a customer that I know of being flown is Brian Horton, and I've heard a lot of good things. So although he had a challenge with his strobe light catching a D line, and that's something I want to encourage a lot of people on. If you mount your strobe anywhere on the frame where it can catch a line, use caution. I had one of my previous students, Mike Wakefield, he had the same experience happen where he actually had a tip line catch and it almost caused him to crash. I don't like mounting things to my cage anywhere that it can catch a line. It's pretty nasty.
Where would you put a strobe? Just so we know, if you had to mount it to the.
So
what's going on here?
Whoa, it's dying.
Sagging.
I'm circling it. So you can put a strobe in between the crossbars and you can recess it inside between the two and minimize the amount of actual surface area and contact points, but you are increasing your risks of snag hazards, and that's a big deal, especially if you're doing aerobatics, that kind of thing, things where the lines might be moving around the cage in a different manner. In that case, just put it in a place where it won't snag.
Yep.
All right. Let's see here. Hello from San Diego. Hey, Steve Mayers. Good to see you, sir. Ross Gascoigne says, what job do you go to work at an hour before sunrise to play at your job before you actually do your job? That's right, Ross. What job do you have that makes you come in an hour before you work? And why aren't you here? It's a beautiful night. I know you're on your way to Canada, but we miss you already. I'm sorry to even say goodbye. Well, he's going to North Carolina, and then he's going to Canada.
He is?
Yeah, and then he's going to meet up at Oshkosh. Ross is one of our instructors.
Ross, are you not going to be here for our next class, July 6th?
He's not.
What?
He's flying up to
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Good for him. I'll see you at Oshkosh, buddy.
SuddenFashion.com says, quick question. Can I sleep in my vehicle in the parking lot at Aviator when I come to training in August? First off, August, in your vehicle.
Oh, you'll die for sure.
I would say that, but Fletch, who was on the instructor panel last week, he did exactly that. Now, I believe that the official word from the airport staff is that you have to get an overnight permit. I don't know how that works. The airport manager's changed one since then, so I don't know what the word is. I don't know what the rules are. But I do know that, without question, It has happened, but it's really hot in August. So, brother, consider someplace with AC, please.
We're not going to give you an answer.
Kevin asked, do you teach beeline stalls or big ears to your students? We do not teach either to our beginner students. Big ears may happen as an intermediate student. It's definitely a part of our PPG3 syllabus, which our PPG3 class is almost full. That's in the early August. So that is something that is coming. And yeah, beeline stalls, while it's very easy to teach, and it's, I don't want to say it's safe because it's certainly not safe. It's something I would highly recommend being taught by a proper SFE instructor with a safety boat, over water. Just because if you make mistakes, the retribution. I do beeline stalls, I won't say all the time, but frequently. I frequently do beeline stalls. I enjoy the heck out of them. I enjoy watching students' faces when I swing out in front of the wing and then drop straight down underneath it. It just makes me giggle.
You ever beeline stall a Mojo?
All the time.
Okay.
So that's basically all I'm. The only other wing that I like to beeline stall is any B wing. Like usually when I'm thermaling, I'm on a Kona or Mojo, so I beeline stall there just to lose altitude. Lucian Sims can't hear me, but I love you, buddy.
What does that
Sad
mean?
that he says that the live stream is less interesting on mute, but it's good for the eye candy.
Are you in is he in a
He's
bathroom stall? Or?
He's on set right now.
Oh.
Nate Goodwin says Airbnb in Bartow for $20 a night with no gunshots either. Good.
Oh, right.
Ed McLeod says $10 per night in a dry camp spot in the park.
Nate, send us a link to that Airbnb, would you? We'll share it.
Absolutely.
We'll share it.
Kevin Can Fly said his instructor made us do both before he went solo. That's interesting. Some instructors have different levels of risk assessment. Let's put it that way. I would rather see people not do things that are somewhat dangerous before they have a lot of experience. But that's just me.
I'm taking this off.
Okay.
It's not working.
All right. There are more questions. Let's see. Can you talk about why some paraglider wings are not adequate for PPG? Man, that's a big question. Paraglider wings is a general rule. So the reason why most paramotor pilots don't fly midday is because a paraglider wing is designed to fly in a descending fashion, right? So it's constantly leaning forward of the frame as it's accelerated, and your drag is slowing it down. Okay. So your drag slowing you down. The wing is flying faster than you slightly. So it flies slightly accelerated, slightly ahead. If you're looking at 12 and 6 o'clock, it might be at 11 and you might be at 5:30, right? It's building speed. Now, when you add motor to it, what happens is you swing forward, that wing falls back, so it's flying slower, right? Whoa. It's flying in more drag, so it has less inherent pressure because it's not flying at full speed.
Right.
So you are more prone to collapse on motor because you're increasing the angle of attack, decreasing the inside pressure. So what my encouragement is, and I know people who fly free flight wings on motor. I know a lot of guys who are attempting to fly like the Delta 3 from Ozone, which is a phenomenal glider. It's my next free flight wing. I want the Swift. Just amazing wing. It's a C-rated glider. It's very efficient. But they're having issues where the wing just feels like it's falling behind too much, where it doesn't feel like it has enough energy. I haven't personally flown a Delta 3 on motor. I've flown several other free flight wings on motor. The other downside of flying a free flight wing on a motor is that on a free flight harness, your hook and points are basically at your hips. On a motor, they're basically at your nipples.
Right.
And they have way longer risers because you need the range of motion for your brake inputs on a free flight wing. So if you have this way up here, now you're trying to get to your brakes way up here, there's no trimmers, you're like way up there. So definitely a challenge. But yeah, it's doable. Just know your skill level and have a blast. All right. Anime. Actually, I'll jump into this one. Bob Blitherx says Mojo versus Dominator. The Dominator wing is based off of the Sky K2. The K2 was released, I believe, in 2004, something like that. The Mojo was released in 2016 or 17.
Wow.
There's no comparison.
Yeah, you don't want to fly an old
technologies.
wing.
Yeah, and mind you, I flew the K2. I have flown the Dominator. I was not happy with either experience. It's not me talking smack. I just didn't prefer it. I flew the extra small Dominator. I flew the somewhere between a 24 and 26 K2. did not really enjoy either experience. The K2 in particular lagged back. It would come halfway up and stop and pause. And you had to push it through. Even though it was a lightweight fabric glider, it required more effort than what I was used to flying. The Dominator, it felt like it was a speed wing. I was a 16 meter. I was in Alaska, and was flying a Polini 130 on a mini plane frame. The guy who let me borrow it, Len, is just the nicest guy in the world. He took us fishing all day. He's just the coolest guy in the world. And he had this K2 to fly, or the Dominator to fly, and he was very gracious. I was so kind of him to let me fly. But I launched it in basically no wind, flew around. Foot drag was great. There's not a whole lot of pressure in the brakes. There's not a whole lot of extra energy. And when I was trying to do wing overs with it, just felt like it felt like I was gonna freaking eat 1,000 feet of altitude every time. It was it really did.
Okay. Well.
All right, lap or side mount reserve. Would you go up one more for me real quick? There we go. All right. Anime Neok says, I'm announcing the formation of the 50 Club. No dues, card, etc. But if you lost 50 plus pounds to paramotor, you're a member. 70 pounds here. Anyone else in the club? This guy.
68 pounds. 68 pounds in 6 months.
I lost 22 pounds after I learned to fly. Does that count?
Yeah. And actually, that is happening. We just had a guy sit in your office a couple days ago.
14
tell
pounds.
us all the pounds. Oh, yeah, all the pounds he's lost.
Yep.
Because you do. It's a lot of work.
You know what? Jesse Watkins is my new favorite member of this chat. He has got it down. It's fantastic. Jesse, I agree. John has terrible hair.
Wait. That's my buddy Jesse that you met on.
I know.
No.
Hey, Jesse, if you want John's job, by the way, I've heard he is looking to become a valet manager, and he's in.
Swap.
Eric Bankston says, "Finished my first solo under instruction. Your content, especially the ground school video, has been a wonderful addition to my learning. I wanted to say thank you, Eric. Thank you so much, man. Do you want to tell them about what we're doing with content for our students now? Some of the LMS stuff, like categories.
Is that ready? Are we ready for that?
Well, we're not rolling it out quite yet, but we're getting close.
Yeah. So we are. Is this a future student?
No, he's not a future student. He's gone through someone else's training, and he appreciates the content he's seen from us so far. And I'm not just saying that, like, hey, screw you, you went someone else. No, I want to kind of share what we're doing because it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So we've been putting together all of our ground school classes into these really, really well made learning management system classes where you'll be watching a video and it's like you're in the room, learning from our head instructor Chris, for example, about wing design or about FAR 103, and the video will be interrupted by a quiz, and it'll be checking for comprehension. It's really cool. I assume that what will happen is you will come here when you arrive for training. You will know everything we were going to teach you. You'll just get a refresher. We'll sort of review, make sure you understand all the ground school stuff, and we'll just get down to the nitty gritty, the physical stuff.
Exactly. That's a big deal for us. Like we want to be able to shorten the timeline that people are sitting in the classroom because. Right. We were talking about it earlier this week. Yeah. When you're on the field for, say, 6-7 hours a day, you're exhausted.
Yep.
And then you come into a classroom and you need 4 hours a day of ground school or 6 hours a day of ground school.
Right.
You're trying to cram all this information into an exhausted brain. So we want to make it a review because you've already had all the content.
Yep. So the current method is we work you like a mule, and then we expect you to memorize these federal aviation regulations.
Yes. It's we want to make sure that everyone's really well-rounded and want them to have all the information possible.
Right. So,
Starfighter said that he got divorced. Does that count?
Yeah.
Was she over 50 pounds?
Was she over 50?
Was she over 50 pounds? That's terrible. Caleb, we're not going to make Flight Fest this year. I would love to. When is Flight Fest East? I think it's coming up this weekend. I will not be there, I don't believe. Let's see. Kevin Gefly says the Swift 5 has a bad tendency to get really sketchy. I don't think it has a bad tendency to get really sketchy. It does absolutely have a tendency to be a high-rated C wing, and it does absolutely give you that kind of feedback. Brent Lofton wants to know, what do we need to know before coming to training?
Yeah, so we actually just made a little video that'll tell you what you need to be able to do physically. So that's important to know. You need to know that you need to be under 250 pounds. If you're a guy that's in shape, you have nothing to worry about at all. If you're a guy that looks like me, then you've got something to think about. You need to try out some stuff.
Which you've got a really cool video you released this week.
Yeah, we got a really cool video we put out. It's kind of silly and fun, but it just sort of details the types of things you need to be able to do physically. But what do you need to know? You need to know that you're committing to doing the most proper order of things. So training comes first, just like in many fields. The only thing, the thing about paramotor that totally freaks me out is that people are so concerned with what motor they're going to buy first. And then they want training, and then they don't care about the wing. It should go training so that you are safe, and then a wing so that you are safe,
Right.
and then a motor.
No, absolutely. And the thing is, we live in an information age, right? We live in an age where it was the information age. Now it's the attention age, in my opinion. But we have a bajillion people who are desperate
Right.
to know exactly what they should buy before they come. They want to have the whole experience laid out ahead of them.
Yeah.
We've probably had 40 or 50 students show up with gear before they come.
Right, and it's been quite a challenge talking these people out of spending $12,000.
Or in the case of the ones that just contacted me, $32,000 for he and his
Right.
wife, right?
Yep.
For equipment they're not going to use.
Yep.
And out of all the people who bought equipment before they've come, I think we're up to 4, maybe 5 people who've actually kept the equipment.
That are still pilots, right?
Not that they're still pilots. They didn't end up having to sell
Oh,
their
they-
equipment
right,
used and
right.
then buy the right equipment for them because they don't have the instructions. So they're buying based on marketing instead of based on experience.
Or they're buying based on what's on Craigslist.
That also happens.
I think it's something that's the wrong size.
Well, that happens frequently, or something that's
Yeah.
too old to safely fly.
Yep.
There's a lot of things that go into it. My encouragement would just be finish your training and then make an experience-based decision, not a marketing-based one.
There's your answer, Brent.
Rip and Writing asks, can Eric launch his free ride with no wind on a July morning, asking for a friend?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can. Of
course.
Most
no
of the
hands. No hands.
No. Well, yeah, I probably could do it with no hands.
With the free ride.
I've never tried it with a free ride and no wind.
The Mojo is a little wind because it's a heavy wing.
Yeah, I can launch that with no wind. Yeah, or with no hands. But the free ride, dude, I'm the first one to say, like, I will nail 300 launches back to back, and then I will fail 2 or 3 back to back, and it's so freaking frustrating. Like you go literally 6-8 months without failing a launch, and then we're doing paradigm practice or Son of Fun this year, and I was flying in the show, and A-Team goes in front of me, and Adriel flies right over me, or no, Doran flies right over me, wakes my wing, wakes Adriel's wing. We both go to inflate and launch. Our wings just won't come up. We ran all the way across the field. Wing wouldn't come up. It was all
Right.
And then I lay back out again, go to launch. I'm like, sweet. I got off the ground. I had a tension knot that was tied so tightly
Right.
that I couldn't get it out.
Yep.
I literally had to land, use my teeth to get it out. And then the third launch, I got off the ground.
Something you don't know about me. I actually have the footage. I'm telling you the truth. I have the footage, and I've saved it on a special hard drive, and it's break glass in case of emergency, where I can whip out that footage at any moment.
Oh my goodness.
2 failed launches in a row.
Yeah, it does happen.
So if your head ever gets too big, get ready.
I have footage of me doing 5 failed launches.
We need to
in
just
a
put
row.
a compilation together and put it out there. Let's just do
that
it.
would be great. Let's do that.
We'll just mute it.
Yeah, I will say that I do like as calm as I generally am, particularly with students. I'm not as calm with myself.
Yeah, you're pretty critical.
I'm a little critical. Jeff Booth, great to see you, my friend. Jeff Stang, I know you're in here. Good to see you as well. CR Productions, what are the maximum winds aloft that you fly in? Typically, where I live is calm on the ground, upper winds, 20 miles an hour plus. It really depends on the gradient. I've flown in extraordinarily high winds aloft. I've flown in no winds aloft. It really depends on the gradient of the winds aloft. If you're going from 200 feet and it being 0 and 500 feet being 20 miles an hour, it's going to be a really bumpy layer in between, right? So there's a great app that I can't recommend enough. It's called UAV Forecast. It's for drones. Fabulous winds aloft app. Really cool. All right. I'm going to give this one to you. Kevin asked, what are your thoughts on kiting a small wing or the wing you're going to fly? How much time do you commit to ground handling after you're a pilot?
Well, I can tell you firsthand that ground handling, kiting the wing is a very perishable skill. That's something we teach our students. It is a perishable skill. That skill goes bad and it leaves you. So you need to be able to do it regularly. As far as like a small wing, I think that most of our students just like if money is a factor, it's like a big factor, then they're just buying the wing that they know they're going to fly.
Right.
They're grabbing their Mojo medium or whatever is in their weight range, and they're just learning how to kite that. Now, if you are working on kiting and you're doing that on a big wing, you're going to get pretty good at it.
You're going to get good at it. It's easier to transition, but the challenge of the bigger wing is that your window for kiteable weather is smaller.
Right.
So you're having to choose window of weather that's not going to let you get drug around or picked up and thrown around.
Right, but then the no wind is just so heavy for like a no wind kiting experience. You're going to be running your butt off.
It has a balance. It has a balance point. So I personally, if someone contacts me and says, hey, what should I buy? I say, hey, is $3,000 going to make or break you?
Right.
If $3,000 is not going to make or break you, buy a Mojo. It's going to be the easiest thing to learn to kite. It's going to be the best wing that you're going to learn to fly on. You're going to love it.
Yep.
If it's going to make or break you, okay, buy a Spider. You know, it's going to be harder to learn to kite on because it's a little more reactive.
Yep.
It's lighter fabric, so you can do it in lighter wind. If they tell me, like, listen, $3,000 doesn't mean a dollop. I'm like Bill Gates. Don't worry about me. Or they're like, hey, I own a car dealership, and $3,000's not a big deal.
When
it's
we trained Bill Gates,
sale.
right?
Then I say, listen, buy a Mojo and buy a Speedwing.
Yep.
Because that gives you the full gamut of weather conditions. So you can, first off, a Speedwing's more challenging to kite.
Yeah,
it is.
It's twitchy.
It's twitchy.
Weird.
It's smaller inputs. It's more challenging to kite, but it teaches you so well. Once you get the Speedwing dialed in, and now you have a much larger window of kiteable weather, which is huge. It's really, really huge.
Yep.
Tony Marzano asks, can you get compression knots with these lines? You can get compression knots, absolutely. I laid out in a hurry. We didn't pay attention as carefully as I should have. I got a compression knot at that time. Are you going to release a video showing how to adjust the length of the brakes? The 2D steering video didn't show that. Eric, actually it did. It didn't as firmly as I probably should have made it. But to answer your question, you want to adjust your brakes the same way that we adjusted the 2D, which is that you want to tie it in where you think it should be.
Feel it.
Kite it.
Yep.
See if there's any brakes engaged and how much slack you still have. You want that bowing shape in the trailing line.
Yep.
It's not that much rocket science. Watch that 2D video again. See how the lines look. You want to have a little bit of slack, etc.
You're not going to just eyeball it on the ground. You want to feel it.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Nate Goodwin says, successful practice launch. Yes. This is. I'll tell the story. So my dad learned to fly. He got 2 flights, and then he failed approximately 100 launch attempts over this period of about a month. And it wasn't his fault. We were flying out of a runway that was very narrow, that had trees on both sides. And, so the wing turned 20 degrees. He had to abort the launch. And he got really frustrated. And he was like, this is not for me. And I said, Dad, you're not failing launches. You're doing successful practice launches. And it's stuck. It's stuck.
So
and
good.
my dad's an incredible pilot now. 5 years later, thousands of flights. He's really done a great job. And so we've kind of used that in the school whenever someone is having successful practice launches consistently.
Yeah, it's nice. Good attitude.
Bobby Steve says there's a difference between a failed and blown or an aborted launch. I like that. I don't fail many launches in that case.
Yes.
I have a lot of aborted ones.
Yes. Good aborted launch there, buddy.
All right. Connecticut Shoot Flyers says Moonshiners are Hillbilly. 11-hour drive to Moonshiners, 7 hours to Hillbilly, same weekend. I'm going to say Ross Gasaway's answer is his best.
Yeah, Moonshiners, yeah. The footage, oh my gosh. I haven't been there, but I've just seen the footage. It's insane. It's beautiful.
It really is beautiful.
Yeah.
The Hillbilly Fly-Ins in Pennsylvania is put on by
some hillbillies.
Jeff. I can't think of his last name right now. It just poofed. I love Jeff. He's hilarious. But Moonshiners apparently is one of the most beautiful places in the world.
Yep.
Do you ever see the FAA adding more regulations due to the recent explosion of new pilots hitting the air every day, Tyler?
Yeah, I mean,
maybe.
If it happens, it happens.
It's a really tough question to answer. We have a lot of really, really good connections within the FAA because of our Paradigm team and because of our position here at the airport. We work with the FAA a lot. My thought is that it may be eventually that we will see more regulations come down the pike. Our hope is that we'll be involved in them.
I'm sure you will.
We hope to be.
But if it happens, we'll be ready. The way the USPPA is set up, which, by the way, I just wanted to ask you a question. I've heard some people say that USPPA regulations and all that, it means nothing. It means nothing. What are they talking about?
So, according to the FAA, they mean nothing unless you're a certified tandem pilot and you have an exemption through the USPPA. The real issue with USPPA's ratings not meaning anything is due to instructors who give ratings without having met the requirements.
Or not giving them at all because they don't feel like getting certified themselves.
Right. So I have a bigger issue with the former because, most I don't want to say most, many paramotor instructors that operate either part-time or they operate schools that are less professional. For instance, I got my PPG2 rating after I had 2 flights under supervision.
Right. It was like a
right?
here you go type of thing. Yeah.
So the value of the ratings was diminished because of that. And we've talked about creating our own rating system. That's kind of what we're doing with our advanced skills classes. We want to be able to have. I want people who have skills. Like when I go fly with a Paradigm team, I know for a fact that I can immediately trust them to get out of my way, trust them that I can get out of their way. Like it's a complete bonding experience, and it's instantaneous, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know. That's kind of my feelings on it. Is I want to be able to trust the pilots I'm flying with, and right now the rating system's a little broken. But when we give ratings to our students, even if they don't get 25 flights here, they don't get their PPG2 until they hit their 25 flights. Yep. We don't give ratings unless they are firmly and well-deserved, and I think that's important. And we are working on some stuff that's going to be kind of cool that I expect we'll see in the next 6 months that will help you. Like if you want to be a pilot with us, and you could show up and be like, hey, I'm good. And I'll be like, hey, you're good. You know?
Whereas normally we have to dig into your background, go onto your Facebook,
check
out your Instagram.
What I usually do is I take a glider. Like if somebody comes with us that wants to fly with us, and I don't know if they're telling the truth about their skills because they kind of seem off. That sounds really bad. I'll take a glider and I go tangle it. And I put it back in the bag.
Just make them untangle.
Because if they're really good at untangling gliders, chances are they're a good pilot, right?
Right.
So if you ever want to fool me, come untangle a glider in front of me and I'll trust you.
I'll let you borrow whatever now.
Oh, man.
You want to get into this yet?
Anime Niak says, I suspect most people buy 2 motors. They buy their first one, then they buy the right one. We like to say buy once, cry once.
Buy once, cry once. I love that.
Yeah, it's an important factor. If you want to have the right experience, get great instruction, get great training, and then go from there.
Yep. Same with training, because a lot of our students are coming to us after already having trained. So
exactly.
If they had just bought once, they would have cried once. Buy once, cry once, people.
Yes. we retrain so many pilots. Yeah. We're retraining less now than we were, but we were
because the word is out.
30% of our students were retrained for a while. All right, so this helmet was a special gift from our friends at Involo, and our plan with it was to give it a Resurgence PPG and to get them some money because they have a great charity that supports veterans and helps them learn to fly. But sadly, they can't do any more raffles this year because you can only do 2 in North Carolina. So we're building the Aviator Foundation, which is going to help more pilots, not just veterans. We plan on donating to Resurgence through the foundation as well. But we are going to be doing a raffle for this helmet eventually. But because it's almost the 4th of July, it's almost Independence Day, we wanted to share what this helmet is. It's pretty cool, and there will be a raffle for it eventually. This is a full-on deluxe, ridiculously expensive, really nice helmet.
Pull it out.
And it's super sexy. You guys want to see it? Do you want to see it?
Whip it out.
All right.
Let's get this thing.
This thing is so America, it makes that paramotor behind me look British. All right?
America!
This is our America helmet.
Look at that. Oh, my gosh.
It's the deluxe Aviator helmet. It's got the Bluetooth. It's got the av band. It's got the GoPro recording. It's got the 2-meter radio. This thing is so America, it hurts.
Yours for only $5,000.
Well, a donation of $5,000 will let you win it right now, instantaneously. It can be yours.
You'll be the only name in the drawing.
Take a look at this America helmet, guys. That's awesome. If you want it, $5,000 for a donation. It's a 501c3. We're in the middle of the forming the 501c3, but no, I'm kidding. We'd like to have it instant freedom boner. Our goal is to do a raffle to give this away to somebody who wants it to donate.
Yeah, that'll be a fun way to kick off the foundation for sure.
Yeah, well, and we're going to do a bunch of cool stuff at the foundation. Yeah. The goal is to be able to share aviation, not just paramotoring, but aviation in general with underprivileged people. People who I want to go to Kenya and teach kids how to paraglide. I want to go to St. Louis and take inner city kids flying. I want to get lots of people involved. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, this is the plan. It's going to be cool. It has all the accessories, and it happens to be America flavored. So there we go.
Tastes like eagle.
Tastes like eagle. Jesus. Oh, man. I want to jump back. I hope that Todd's in the chat. Todd, if you're still in the chat, leave a note down below. I saw you had a question there. I want to get in there. Dave Schott, great to see you, my friend. Any plans for refresher courses? Not right now, but it is in the pipeline. If you'd like to get a refresher course for you, please send me a message or an email or a text. I would really like to serve you, Dave. Dave's one of our past students who had some health issues and just a super, super good dude. Luis Castro says, do you have wings in stock for students? I can't pan the camera because I'm on this side of it, but there are about 40 wings on the shelf back there and another 15 to 20 that are in our school library. So we have tons of gliders. In fact, we have almost every size and almost every color of Spider 3s ready to ship right now. So if you want to see it, that is a medium helmet.
On a large head.
Well, it's actually a
On an
medium
extra large
liner. The
head.
helmets are the same size, but the liner's a
Let me
medium.
squeeze.
This is not going to work.
It's like-
So you can choose what size liner you want if you win the helmet, just so you guys know.
This
so
is the. It's choking me.
it's okay.
All right.
Dave Nichols. So there's your answer. Size-wise, it will be either size, and it looks fabulous. You look less like an eraser with that color on. Than you
Less
did.
like an eraser, people.
He had the bright yellow student helmets, and it was pretty fabulous.
Look less like an eraser. By now.
Kevin Can Fly says, I'm an inner city kid who is going to fly. Good man.
Right on, inner city kid.
Papa Golf 1 says, any plans in the fall time fly-in like wings every winter, but in the fall? Right now, we are not planning on doing any fly-ins here. We have an airport manager who's a bit challenging to work with and has turned down our previous event applications despite the support of the city council, and we don't understand why that's happening, but that's where we are. So we're doing our best to get things going properly, but that's where we stand right now.
I have a question because Ed McLeod keeps bringing up. What is this poker run flight thing?
Oh yeah.
What is poker run?
So
flight?
apparently some guys put together a plan for a poker run. A poker run is generally done on a motorcycle. And they go out and they ride bar to bar and they pick up a card, like a playing card.
Yeah.
Playing card.
Yeah.
And then when you get to the final location, whoever has the best hand wins.
Oh, that's crazy.
Right?
They take a random one at each place?
Yes.
Oh,
correct.
that's crazy.
So
that's a good idea.
They're doing that, and some people have ponied up some prize money. So I said, well, Aviator will throw $100 toward the prize money, and they're ending it here. Everyone's landing here and picking their hand. So next weekend, that's what's going on. We have nothing to do with it except for the fact that I thought some people were doing something that was cool, and I wanted to be a part of it. So I said, sure, here's $100.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it's going to be really cool.
We're talking planes, or we're talking?
No, they're flying paramotors.
What? From
Yeah.
Where do they start?
I think they're starting in Wauchula. I'm not sure. I think they're going Wauchula
Dang,
to
that's gonna be
Avon
that's
Park
a good
to
idea.
here.
I'm gonna steal that here next year.
Okay. Brian Pittman says there's confusion out there concerning the Parajet MY19 185 break-in oil mix. Looks like 66 to 1 after 15 liters, but some of the Alliance report 50 to 1. We are recommending. I'm not sure what the technical answer is on this because I'm not sure where our team stands. I will relinquish this completely to Alex, guys. Alex is our technical master. He and Ross do all the work on making sure these motors work perfectly. I know that right now Vitrazzi's their statement is 66 to 1.
Yeah.
So we're going to completely support that. 66 to 1 is what they say to do.
Right.
We support it.
Yeah, according to Ross on last week's, that's what we're doing.
Okay.
So.
Robert Durbin, good to see you, brother man. I saw you earlier. Yes, Lycoming County Air Show is a go. We will be there on, I think,
The 14th September, 13, 14.
And we're going to be there early for for some visits with STEM schools, for STEM school visits and stuff, teaching kids about aeronautics. And we are going to encourage anybody who's a local pilot like you to come join us because we'd love to do some flying with you. We're going to do some adventure flying. We're going to have some fun. It's going to be glorious. Very, very cool stuff.
Yeah, see our buddy Tucker up there.
Yeah, Tucker's going to be there. I'm not sure who all else is coming. Kyle wants to come. I don't know about the Martins yet. We're going to find out. So
Come on, Martin.
David Tejado just now, like 10 minutes ago, just told me he's in. So it's going to be fun.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Get
Mike
ready,
Brown.
balloon people.
Mike Brown. I didn't know the Blackberries had Facebook apps. That's
Whoa,
cool.
Mike Brown's in the chat. He's running 66-1.
Jim CR120 says, when you stock wings, what color sizes and models do you stock? Currently, we have almost every size and color of the Spider. 3, we have several Roadster 3s. We have about a dozen Mojos generally in stock when we can keep them in stock.
A lot of pink,
Nina's-
yellow, black. A lot of pink, yellow, black left.
No, we don't. We sold like pink, yellow, black to every single student in the
I know.
last class.
This last class was all about the pink, yellow, black
Jeez.
because it looks like some rapper's shirt.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can't remember who.
Black and yellow, black and yellow.
In pink.
Doug Heverland says, I'm tired of hearing all the cool stuff happening in Florida. I'm leaving Frostburg. Yes, it's earned its name. Doug, it is so hot here today, buddy. Man, can we custom color wings? Of course we can, Tony. Be happy to. We also do custom logoing. So if you are a big fan of your business and you want to write off your investment of learning to fly, we can make that happen for you. Yes, for a fee.
for a fee.
Eric Sheridan, Speed Wings in stock. Yes, we have Speed Wings in stock. We have a Phaser 14, I believe, in stock right now. And we can custom order whatever it is you like.
Come and get it.
Justin Fox, good to see you, brother man. Always a pleasure. Papa Golf 1, yes, we have a free ride in stock. We may not anymore. We just sold a 23, a 19, and I think my 16 might be sold because apparently 3 different people want it. And so
Yeah.
I have to order my own free ride. I have to order a new one.
I think
and
we just shipped yours out.
I'm really
yesterday.
sad about it because I need it back for Oshkosh. So
Yeah, well,
they better get it back.
you can loan it. You can borrow it from the guy who bought it.
All right, let's see. Oh, there's a Firefly. I think it's used though.
What are we looking at here? Oh, wow.
I'm trying to see if we have any more free rides.
I don't think we have any more free rides. Yeah,
I think I'm ready for the free ride.
I think you're not ready for a free ride.
Just out of curiosity, let's say that my skill level was to that point. Is there a free ride that I could fly?
Yeah,
Did they
free
make
ride
that
23.
30? Oh, they have a 23.
I would tandem on a 23.
That's an efficient wing.
It's ridiculously efficient. Wow. Yeah, I mean, it would obviously be a very unsafe tandem, but I've
Yeah,
talked about
that's
taking my
cool.
wife on a 23. But sadly, we just sold our 23, so
Wow, tandem barrel rolls. Love it.
that's what I wanted to do. I was so excited.
All right, that's what Nina's doing tonight?
Yes, we're doing tandem barrel rolls, Nina.
Wow.
She
I've
said
never
she's
done a
not
barrel
going.
roll. That's cool. Good
All right,
for you.
switch back to chat. I can't see.
Yeah, we can't see. We don't want to see
I
this
can't see.
ugly screen.
Let's see here. Pacific
Bittner.
Northwest is beautiful. Yes, it is. Adam Bittner, good to see you, sir.
What's
How long does it take to get a custom wing for ozone? Tyler, it really depends on when you order. If you order in November when it's cold in most of the world, you're going to get it in 15 to 20 days. If you order in April when the entire world wants to buy paragliders, you're going to get it in 60 to 80 days.
Yep.
Right now, it really depends on exactly what your availability is. Anime asks if we've tried the APCO hybrid wing and what do we think. I've not flown it. I have kited it. It's an interesting glider. My understanding is that it has very little flare and is a bit challenging. Really, that's it. It's not even a bit challenging. It's easy to inflate. It has good dynamics in flight. Very stable.
You
Doesn't
want
have
some
much
flare.
Oh, but it's a weird wing. It's a hybrid, so it's half skinned.
Oh, okay.
You'll have to see it.
James Dunn, what up? He says it's more magenta than pink.
It is.
He
it
bought
is-
one, so
Of course, he bought
he's
one.
setting the record straight.
More magenta. All right. Elliot Eaton says, "Hey, buddy, you guys hiring anytime soon?" Elliot, we're always hiring. We have been hiring instructors like crazy. We went from 4 employees to 16 in the last 6 months, and we are working on potentially hiring more instructors in the next 6 months, as well as possibly other people. We'll see.
Mainly instructors, probably
Right.
not others.
We might need some more help we might need
We
some
might.
warehouse help. We might need
We
some
might.
some more media guys. We'll see what
If
happens.
people won't stop buying stuff, we are going to need more help in the warehouse.
There is a solid ban on hiring anyone who calls me at 8 o'clock at night 3 times in a row to ask me about how to tune a motor that I've never sold or flown.
Right.
That was
not
Elliot.
hired.
That was Elliot, by the way.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
Why would you do that?
Oh, man. Is there a single skin PPG wing? There are single skin PPG wings. Well, they're actually paragliding wings. They're used for paramotoring, and I've flown a couple of them. They're really interesting. Very, very interesting.
What does that mean?
It literally has no bottom skin.
So no cells.
No cells. Super weird. Super weird.
All right. Now you have it.
There you have it. All right, guys. The questions are winding down.
Thank goodness.
It has been a whopping 48-minute podcast. This is the shortest one ever. I feel like we should go for like another 12 minutes.
Let's go for 10.
I'm going to look at the weather really quick because it's showing rain over us 10 minutes ago. I don't hear any rain, but, I mean, that's a pretty big blob of rain.
Yeah, you're not going for a tandem tonight.
No.
I'm going to go out there and look because it's dissipating. That was a giant lightning ball, and it's not anymore. So, yeah.
Did you ever see that thing that's ball lightning?
Yes.
It's a natural phenomenon, the ball
It's so
lightning.
cool.
It looks like a UFO.
It does look like it
People-
probably is a UFO.
Wouldn't that be crazy if they're like, oh, it's not UFOs, it's just this new phenomenon called ball lightning. Turns out it was UFOs. Yeah.
The whole time.
Yeah.
Tyler Cragen asks, any chance Paradigm will be doing any shows out west in the coming years? Reno air races, maybe. Guys, we would love to do more shows. So what it all comes down to is money.
Yep.
It sounds bad. It's money and time. We finally have more time. My role here is shifting. Nina's taking over a lot of my responsibilities. John's taking over a lot of my responsibilities so that I'll have more time in order to be able to go and do these shows. But the reality is that to do a Paradigm show, I mean, the cheapest one we've ever done cost us $16,000.
And that's because it's right here in Lakeland.
Right. The most expensive one we ever did cost us almost 4 times that. Right. So when you are trying to assemble what ends up being a group of around 20 people, many of whom are paid, and the travel expenses alone. I mean, we're bringing people in from Kuwait, from Spain, from France, from New Jersey, from Wisconsin, from Florida. We had 27 shows request us. They requested us to appear this year at their air shows. I believe it was 27. So 27 air shows wanted us to come, and we had to say no to all but 3. So having to say no to all but 3 is really, really sucky. And so, yeah, we'd like to do more. We're doing Son of Fun, Oshkosh, and this air show in Lycoming County, Pennsylvania. We had 8 shows on the West Coast alone that wanted us to come do a West Coast tour. We would desperately love to do Reno air races. We'd desperately love to do all those shows, but without a sponsor, basically Aviator can't afford to pay for all of that. We could do a GoFundMe maybe. I don't know. I don't want to do that. I want to have a sponsor that sees a lot of value out of what we do, because if we do a full show, a full season of shows, 12 to 15 shows, we'd probably, I think the numbers were between 35 and 50 million impressions. That's how many eyeballs will see us, right? And that's a lot. That's a lot of people.
Yep.
So it should be valuable to a sponsor. If you know of a small company, any company that would like to be in front of really cool people who are really passionate, we'll take sponsorship starting at the cost of one show, like the base cost of one show, so it's
Right,
$25,000.
so somebody that's local to Oshkosh, local to Lycoming, something like that.
or even if you have a national brand. If you need to spend marketing dollars on something and you love paramotors, you want to promote. I tell people, like, if flying is a religion, Paradigm's our revival tank. Right, like it's our spot to get people excited about it. Yep. So we'd love to do something, but it's a huge cost. Everyone's always like, well, why don't the paramotor manufacturers help? And I'm like, well, quite frankly, they don't make that much money either. We've tried to get Ozone to help. We've tried to get all these different companies to help, and there's just not that much that they can afford to do. So it needs to be somebody who, like, makes bottled water or shoes or like phone cases or something consumable, because we're in front of so many
silicone rings.
Right. We did, our previous sponsor made sunglass lenses, and it was awesome. It was great because we don't just get, like, to be in front of people and it's like a brand recognition thing. Right. We get 12 minutes of dedicated time. It's July 4th last year. We're in St. Louis in front of 1.5 million people. 1.5 million people live, plus millions more on TV.
Then it was on local. Then it was on YouTube.
Yep.
Local TV. Yeah.
And
Crazy.
plus we have nearly 1 million followers through social media between Tucker and ourselves. And so we have all these people watching, and I get to spend like 3 minutes talking about what our sponsor does.
Right.
So it's kind of cool. But we don't have any sponsors. All right, Ernie DeVillette, we'd love to have you as a pylon handler, my friend. Always a pleasure. David Nichols, my Moster is idling 17 to 1800. Email alex@aviatorppg.com. He's going to be setting up times of day where you can call for technical support. I believe that's a little bit low, but it sounds. I'm not the tech guy. Neither of us are. I'm not very smart.
No idea. I know that it can run at, like, what, 8,400?
Yeah, the high end's 84. Yeah.
84. Yeah, I got one number right.
Got one number right. Yeah. Jim asked about details and guidelines about how a person considers a wing size based on his weight. Where in the weight range does one want to fall? It depends on your experience. Generally, as a beginner, we're going to put you in the middle of the weight range, lower end of the weight range for your first flights, middle as you progress, and the upper end of the weight range as your skills evolve. Dave Counts asks, where in Pennsylvania? Lycoming County Balloon Fest and Air Show in September. Cody Esterline says, is there any book you would recommend I read before I come down for training? I would recommend 2. One is the Power Paragliding Bible. That is by Jeff Goen. It's incredible. It's a fantastic book. The second book I should have back from my publisher in about 23 days.
The Eric Farewell biography.
I don't know what it's going to be called yet, but I finished my work with my publisher and my writers, and so the book is coming together, which I'm excited about.
That's so exciting, yeah.
It's not really about how to learn to fly, but it's kind of what I believe in and what I do and how this whole Aviator thing came to be, which is pretty cool. Eric Bengtson says, would you classify the Kona as a more beginner or intermediate or intermediate beginner? I would say it's a beginner-mediate. It's a very low B, very, very low B. Luis Castro, do you have Parajet Maverick Atom 80 in stock? We do, yes. We have Atom 80s in stock right here at our facility, as well as in England, where you can order one and have it delivered to you within 3 or 4 days. We have them on the floor, ready to go right now, already paid for. So if you want them, let us know. Let's see. Karma, good to see you. I think Understanding the Skies by Dennis Pagan's an amazing book, Karma. Will, good to see you. But I think it's a lot of content, a lot of information for a pre-flying beginner. Definitely a good thing, but yeah. Terrible low wind here all summer. Which is easier inflation, Mojo or Spider 3? Spider 3 for sure. Inflates easier, 100%. Absolutely. Bob Litherack says, how much for a purple Mojo with a Fly or Die logo? Purple Mojo is $3,300 or $3,350. The logo, it depends on size and material. If you want it to be made with ripstop and you want it giant, it could be as much as $1,200. It can be as little as $400.
What is a Fly or Die logo?
I don't know.
If you're referring to the Tucker Gott Risky Biscuits Fly or Die new shirts that he just put out, just tape it to your wing.
Just tape the shirt to your wing.
Sorry, I had to take. What if I just hold it?
Just hold it in place. Connecticut Shoot Flyer says he's still waiting for the release of the E-Start Maverick. We are taking orders for the E-Start Maverick right now. If you want to get yours in, Jeff Booth ordered the first one last week. They're there, ready to go. Arrival is when?
Mid to
late July. All right. Let's see. Any other questions? Can you elaborate on the flat spot on the Charger? I can't because I don't know which flat spot you were talking about. All right. Cody Esterline, if you'd like to get the PPG Bible, when you sign up for training with us, we send you a copy for free.
Cody Esterline is signed up, and it should have already been sent out.
All right. So, Cody, there you go. You've got a copy on its way to you. Beautiful. How's the electronic fuel injection working out? It's working great for us. We just ordered EFIs for all of our student units, so all the school units will have them on them. And that is, at least I believe so anyway. I don't know. My operations manager is shaking her head at me. I thought that's what happened.
Well, we're working on it. We ran out because everybody bought them, so we need more.
Tommy Anderson asks if torque compensation lamels on the Maverick with the Motion 185 are needed or worthwhile. I'm going to put them on mine because I like the way they work, but they aren't necessary. I mean, you do have some torque on a Maverick, even with the offsets, but it's not a whole lot. Justin Fox says, I think John starred on the movie Pineapple Express.
That's another Seth Rogen reference.
Is it accurate?
Thank you. No, it's not. I am not Seth Rogen, and I was not in that movie. Thank you for being a jerk. Oh, man.
Let's see. Nate Goodwin says, is it true you drank the beer I forgot to take home? Yes.
Yeah, that's long gone.
Actually, it's not long gone yet, but it's getting there. I still have it in the drawer. I had one yesterday.
Oh, okay.
It was good.
Right.
You had one yesterday. You liked it.
Oh, the Terrapin? Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good.
That was yours? Yeah, that is really good.
PPG Bob Father asked, do you sell the visors for the Aviator Premium helmet? We can, yes. We don't have them in stock right now. It's something we have to get with our next shipment. Randy Martins asked, how much will they cost? How much will what cost? Lamels?
No, the
Dual Start Mavericks. Do you have the price off the top of your head?
8,900.
8,900.
9,000.
$8,900. John would like an extra $100 for his pocketbook, please.
It's for cameras.
And someone asked if we had any experience with the Adventure Flex 1. I do not have personal experience with it. Karma PPG will, he's one of our new customer service guys. He says that he learned it on Flex 1. It's a nice handling wing, but very heavy and tough inflation. Someone asked about the Charger's dead spot. What he was referring to is last week I was talking about the Charger having a spot in the inflation process
right.
where it lags behind. It's more of a lag spot where it starts to slow down.
Right.
it's basically all it is. As you inflate, it comes about 2/3 of the way up, and you have to power through a point where it kind of hangs parachutal.
That can be kind of discouraging for a very, very beginner.
It certainly can.
Yeah,
it certainly can.
That'll ruin your day.
Nate Goodwin, thank you very much for the beer, my friend. Do you guys teach about mountain flying? As I'm out here in Utah with lots of mountains. We do. Our instructors have flown all over the world. And so they do have some experience flying in mountainous terrain. Obviously, they were not going to be as experienced or as good at educating that as a local instructor might. What we might do is connect you with one of the local pilots. If you came here to Florida, we connect you with some of the guys out in Utah that we've trained and get you flying with some local pilots.
Yep.
Tana Bob says, come fly. Is it flyable right now, Dad? Let me know. How much is the cost of fuel injection? It's $1,500.
Tandem Bob.
My dad's...
It has to be installed by a approved
Yes, but it has to be installed by a approved person. Can you add eStart to a MY18 Maverick? No, you cannot. It's a different crankcase. I'm sorry, Vaprix. It's a bummer. Hey, Saeed. Good to see you. I've heard lightweight wings cause launching trouble in slightly turbulent wind situations. 4 to 5 mile per hour gust factor. Is that an accurate experience or just pilot error? I have never experienced that ever in any way, shape, or form. In 4 or 5 miles per hour, you can easily reverse launch it. I have no idea why anyone would say that it's harder to launch a lightweight wing. The only time that it would be harder to launch a lightweight wing is when you're flying a trike. Like when we fly the Swift Max, which is a lightweight wing behind the big trike, the wing gets blown around a lot. That's it. Congratulations, Saeed. Great to hear. Buzz Burrows, we miss you too, my friend. All right, we're at an hour. I don't know if it's flyable.
We did it.
Somebody said that it's not flyable. AJ did. And if
AJ?
AJ is not flying, it
Wow.
must be terrible bad.
said it's gusty.
Gusty.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm
Not
going to
super-
go on a full weather check right
Yeah,
now.
go ahead.
guys.
It's not super tandem worthy, so I'll take over. Sides in the chat. What's up, man? Who's your instructor? Starfighter wants to know.
Yeah.
Is anybody in the chat right now, other than Cody Esterline, Alejandro Diaz, anybody scheduled? I'm just interested in connecting sort of the names on the schedule to the people here in the chat. Anybody here paid for training, headed here, scheduled for training here soon? Bob says, not flying tonight. Tomorrow morning looks great. Of course, tomorrow morning always looks great.
I'm so sad.
Every day tomorrow morning looks great.
Well, it's true because
we
the
say it
mornings
every
are
day.
great every
tomorrow
morning.
morning looks great,
Yeah.
we say.
Yeah.
Well, some people can't necessarily get out of bed and run in here.
This guy.
Kristen Solano is scheduled to train here on Friday.
She's scheduled to be here to help train
Oh,
on
never
Friday.
mind. She needs to fly on Friday. Okay.
Maria Isabel asks, do you rent out equipment out for new students out of state? Yeah, we rent equipment to all of our students. They get to use our equipment for free in the training. It's part of the training fee. At least 15 flights on our equipment. And if you are coming and traveling to train with us, do not fret. We'll be happy to take care of you.
There's I learned something from a customer. There's a school, I won't say its name. It is much cheaper than ours, but they have an equipment rental fee that makes it much more expensive than ours, depending on how many days you rent it.
Yeah, that actually was the initial reason why I started. This is probably 4 years ago. I started including equipment use, or 5 years ago, was because one of the schools that I had experience with, their rental fees were so exorbitant, and it was done as a way to pad his income because he actually didn't own the equipment. His past students would buy equipment and then he would lease it from them for like X fee and then charge a lot more and then lease it to a new student. So not only were his past students not using the equipment they purchased, he was charging a lot of money for it to other students, and it just felt really duplicitous to me. It felt like it was.
Yeah.
It felt like I looked at it and I was like, but at the time I didn't want to spend $50,000 on school equipment.
Right.
But eventually I just felt like morally it made more sense.
Yep.
And maybe it was a great situation for all those past students. It didn't make sense to me, because if you're buying equipment and you're learning to fly, then you should use that equipment to fly every day you can. Maybe there were students that could never fly. That's very possible.
Right.
I'm not throwing this guy under the bus. It's very possible. But it just seemed weird to me.
Yep.
So I wanted to include it. Saeed says he needs a wing to learn to kite. Saeed, send us an email, my friend. info@aviatorppg.com. We have tons of wings in stock, and we can help you get one to learn to fly. Could I get your thoughts on the Eclipse 185 dual start, Brad 13?
We got a bunch of people in the chat scheduled to win the Tucker Got giveaway. They're not scheduled yet, but they are in that giveaway.
They're scheduled to win the Tucker
So
Got
for those
thing.
of you
That's
that
awesome.
don't win the giveaway, the drawing's somewhere around July 13th. You should be getting an email from me shortly after saying, hey, sorry you didn't win. Here's the dates. We're open to have you. So
Yes, and I think it's going to be really exciting because as we move forward, I'm excited because Tucker's going to be at that training, so we're going to do a lot of filming. We have some other really cool, exciting things we're working on.
Yep.
What are the benefits of the Spider 3 versus the Spider 2? Worth the upgrade. Mako, I have to tell you, it's definitely worth the upgrade.
Yep.
The original Spider was based on the Roadster 2. The Roadster 3 is a massive improvement to it. I didn't think they could improve it as much. We're seeing, according to Ross, who's flown it the most of all of us, between both wings, he says that the Spider 3 launches easier, flies better, it has about 30% more efficiency and speed. He's very, very happy with it. He says that the Spider 3 is fantastic. Saeed asked if we sell used equipment. Yes, we do sell our used equipment. We sell all of our demo equipment. If you are interested in used equipment, feel free to send an email to info@aviatorppg.com. Let us know what your weight is.
Andre asked, "What about the Shock watch?"
What happened to it, John?
I still use it, and I actually used it this morning. It worked great, but every time I wake up early, I just find out there's like all this stuff I have to do now. Like I'm checking emails, and now we need to go for a run, and then after we go for the run, we can't take one of our dogs on the run because she's so stupid or slow, and then we have to walk them, and then I got to take a shower, and I'd rather just sleep in and just jump out of bed, throw on a shirt, and run to work. So I'm having trouble flying in the morning. What do I do? How do I do this?
I think you need to wake up earlier.
We're talking 4 a.m. now.
Make it 3.
No, I can't.
Brandon Linker says it seems half the people at Fly-Ins have one wheels, unicycles, hoverboards. Any reason for this other than being awesome? No, there's no reason for it other than them being awesome. If anyone wants a one wheel, we have them in stock.
Although AJ just transported this motor from the school a half a mile away all the way to here on this one wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Pretty baller.
It's more than just being awesome. I mean, that's utility. That's awesome. It's a sport utility vehicle.
It's a sport utility. It is kind of a sport utility vehicle. If I was to win the Tucker Got training and I'm overweight still by then, can it be rescheduled till I get there?
No. Nope.
Sadly, no. We'd have to. I don't know what we do in that situation. Just because.
It's actually in the rules. They must be 250 to enter.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It's on Tucker's rules.
Okay. It's just because we don't want to have a slot taken by someone that doesn't get to fly, because literally the whole reason we teach, the whole point of this is that we want to see people's lives change through flight. We want to see people overcome their fears, do big things. So the schedule is set such that Tucker's coming, lots of extra work's going in. We're making sure we have a whole lot of instructors here and media here and all this stuff here to be able to promote what Tucker's done with this. So it would be kind of cheating everybody out of all their hard work.
Yeah, so just get there, man. Just absolutely just go do keto, do whatever you got to do should you win, and just get there. And honestly, the part of the life-changing thing here is that we're actually changing people's health, because we have so many people like myself lose a ton of weight and get in shape and get rid of the back pain so that they can learn to fly. So
yeah,
definitely get there.
Yeah, Giannis Tarzis says, can you use a free ride for free flight safely? I have flown the free ride, free flying, as has Tucker. It is scary and dangerous because it's an uncertified death trap, but it's super fun. It's wicked fun to kind of ridge soar and play on, but it is definitely a wing that's not trying to keep you safe. It's a wing that you're having to fight to stay alive.
Yes, it's like I like to compare it to Venom, the symbiote, where it's talking in your head. It's like there's a voice in your head saying, "You want to be upside down, don't you?"
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Pretty much.
Kristen Solano says, "I need to get up earlier." Of course I do.
Yes.
One day.
Yes. All right, slow it. Let's keep on going. Let's see. I already won. John, better not cut into our time. Sleep at Aviator. That's a good point. You could sleep at Aviator.
He's referring. Brian is referring to our video game time. We like to play a little Xbox at night.
John DeJong says, I own a sign shop and I want to make my own wing graphics. Even though you're not a techie, do you know what type of vinyl you use? Yes. There are a couple options. You can use an Oracal 543 or 643. It's the 0.1 millimeter. Use flat black or flat white, but if you're in a cold climate, it will come off. It will fall off quickly. If you're in a warm climate, you can use a heat gun very lightly. Use your hands to ensure that you're not melting the wing, but it's going to fall off. The other option is to use incredibly expensive fabric. It's a ripstop nylon that you have to buy from a couple different specialty shops. That's what we use. It's also a flat black, and that works very well, but it's around 15 times the cost of the vinyl. So, no, maybe not that much. Maybe it's 5 to 8 times the cost of the vinyl.
Lightweight.
Tony Marzano. No, it's not super lightweight. The other stuff is lightweight. This is still light, but it's heavier. It's the same, very similar fabric to what Ozone uses to put their logos on.
Yep.
All right, let's see here. Are you going to keep picking people until someone will qualify? Tony Marzano asks. Honestly, my friend, the rules and the contest, it's all up to Tucker. We gave him a slot and told him to fill it.
Yep. Yeah. So just like any other giveaway, I mean, the person who wins has to be a qualified entry. Any sweepstakes in the world, even the lottery, qualified entry. If you buy a lottery ticket and you were only 17 and they sell you one, you're not eligible to win that lottery. So
Right.
Qualified entry. So
Can a prior student still win? I don't know. You'll have to look. I believe so.
yeah.
Let's see. Bob Luther says, okay, what's a one wheel? Google it, my friend. They're really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Legally speak, sorry. Remember you speaking highly of the Ozone Mojo Power for noobs, Saeed says, does it also have split A's? It does have split A's, but the risers are much less complicated than what you're used to. It's very, very simple, non-complicated risers. Legally speaking, what sort of charges could you expect for a paramotor butt naked? We could bring some lawyers in and ask, I guess. Working on it already, down to 300 from 320. Congratulations, Andrew.
Nice.
That's awesome.
That's great progress.
Matt, anyone who says signed up for our training has already received the fitness video, correct, John?
Yeah, it's basically anybody who was already signed up prior to yesterday has now received it. It's called, you'll see in the title, it says
Bromance.
yeah, it says the title of the email is "Who's Ready for Bromance?" Bromance is an acronym. It's a scientific acronym.
Very scientific.
Yeah, it stands for Broad Range of Motion Articulation, capabilities, something. I can't remember.
Exercises.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, so it's
Examination.
It's together. We may put it out publicly. We may put out other ones publicly. This was a short one that's designed just to help students who are ready to go.
Right.
I would love to make another one or to make this like a longer series. It's literally what, a 6-minute video?
Yeah, this wasn't the workout program. This was literally just checking on your capabilities.
Right.
It's just a self checkup. It's like, can you do this? Can you do this? Can you turn your head? That sort of thing. So.
Absolutely. What is the equivalent of a Mojo XL to upgrade to Roadster? Mostly good to see you, my friend. It's going to be a Roadster 330 or Spider 330. Let's see here. Has anyone used a vinyl printer to print on a wing? Yes, printedwings.com has all that information. They don't do Ozone wings, but there are other gliders that they get fully printed. They're crazy. So, Brandon Linker says, interesting situation. I had a gastric sleeve surgery and lost 115 pounds in the last 6 months. Good for you. Not under 250 yet, but will be well under it by November. Am I still disqualified for the contest? No. I don't think you're disqualified.
You're fine. Yeah, as long as
as long as you're qualified at the time.
As long as you're going to get here.
Yes, Saeed. Info at Aviator PPG. Slow days. I have a one-wheel XRs. I don't actually have my own personal one yet because I'm a little uncoordinated.
They're uncertified death traps.
It's the number one injury at our school is the one wheel. Got
me.
John, got AJ, got Fletch.
The instructors, yeah. They're dangerous.
All right, let's see here, guys. Thank you all so much for being here. If there are any extra questions, we'll answer them now. But why are they racist against Ozone? John Wallace asks. Actually, they're not. Ozone doesn't want to release wings to them that are not stitched because Printed Wings stitches their own wings, and Ozone doesn't trust anyone but themselves to do the work.
I can understand that.
Yeah. Could you use a skydive canopy with a motor? I might have almost tried that once, but it was a 59 square foot canopy, and it was blowing like 35 miles an hour. I was not that dumb. I have flown a 10.5 meter Rapido on a motor. That was scary.
Downhill?
No, right here at the airport. It was blowing like 20. It was pretty scary. Jeff Stang, good to see you, brother. I said hi to you earlier. You weren't even here. Oh man, guys, always a pleasure having everybody here. This is probably one of my favorite days of the week, being able to share with you all, get to share some of my passion and some of John's. And I talked more this week than I think that I usually do.
Yeah, it's great. Had a little nap and
yeah, man,
like an Energizer bunny.
Exactly. Well, I had that meeting this morning, and I had to re-up, man. I was here early. Oh man. All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching. Again, if you have more questions, feel free to email us. We'll do our best to answer questions every week. I know I have a couple emails I probably should reply to, but I have to find them. And now I'm out of energy. Actually, I just want to go take Nina flying because I hear AJ flying outside. So, guys, thank you all so very much for being here. Ernie, if you want a one wheel, we can get you one. Stay in touch, everybody. And we'll look forward to next week on Tuesday, seeing each and every single one of you. Have a great night. Thank you so much for watching.
Bye.
Thank you, John. Appreciate you.
Nina.